They're actually going to start again? Now? I am so screwed. There's no way I can pull this off. Where are my breath mints? Freaking Coleman. He doesn't go on for several pages. They're waving for me again. Coming, just give me a minute. What the hell am I going to do? What'd you say, Coleman? Are you sure? I just take this other pill of yours and it will counteract the first one as well as all the beer? Damn, what a fix. All right, give me that thing. Coming. Ahem. So far, so good. Nobody notices I'm bent. But that second pill better kick in soon. I guess this would make me what professors call the undependable narrator. Except that's usually some schizo character using first-person voiceover who's supposed to be the sympathetic detective, but in a hairpin twist is revealed as the psychotic killer dressed in drag and suffering stress-induced blackouts. Man, am I fucked up. What the hell was I just talking about? Well, that second one's kicking in like a mother. I remember my place now. That undependable narrator guy? Well, that's not me. I won't steer you wrong. It's going to be hard enough as it is. This story's a mess, but it's about the Florida Keys, which means it's a documentary. And frig some fancy setup. Let's slice through that elliptical fog bank of piffle right now. Here's the conceit. And if you haven't driven down to the Keys, you'll just have to take my word on this. But you know how if you are driving down to the Keys, the people in all the other cars are freaks? Everyone flying down US 1 for a million different reasons, and all of them are wrong. And the ones who don't look like freaks, they're the worst. Because that's the thing about the Keys. Nobody is who they seem to be. It's the perfect place to hide out and reinvent yourself. And that's the story. Got it? What? Oh, right, the plot. Okay, mixed in with all the freak cars is one very important plot car. A white Mercedes with tinted windows. That's the key to everything. Remember sea monkeys when you were a kid? Doesn't have anything to do with this book, but my brain is starting to fizz. The crew is giving me weird looks. Need to wrap this up fast to get the hell out of here. So I was supposed to tell you in this prologue what balls to keep your eyes on, and I just did. Cross that off the list. There's lots of other cars and buses and boats and planes racing south. Too many to count. Hey, that's the Keys. Every day the entire island chain is this idiot's gumball rally. Get used to it. Just pay attention to that white Mercedes and you'll be fine. It all starts with this massive traffic jam on US 1. Wait, no, it starts when they find a body. But right after that, there's this big tie-up clogging everything. You guessed it, Coleman again. He didn't mean to cause it. Trouble just seems to find him, like he's some kind of big trouble-type thing, like a magnet or something. What are those twinkling lights? These beautiful bugs are circling my head. Let me catch one and inspect its bioluminescent ectoskeleton. Blurbersner schnibbib gishelfrusism lolo higlis chishamane. Crash. Cut. What the hell happened to the narrator? He passed out. Coleman! I didn't do anything. He was fine a minute ago. Wonderful. Where's the backup narrator? Right here. A young man in a starched dress shirt ran over with a pack of stapled pages. You're on. I am? He nervously rustled pages and talked to himself. This is what you've been waiting for. Get your head in the right spot. Narrator. What are you waiting for? This is costing us money. Okay. They found the body crucified upside down on the side of the Bat Tower. 2 Monroe County Sheriff's deputies got the call. Gus and Walter. The green and white cruiser rolled down a bumpy dirt road on Sugarloaf Key, coming around a bend in the mangroves until an old wooden tower came into view. In 1929, a real estate developer named Richter Perky decided to make a killing on Sugarloaf, about 15 miles from Key West. The only thing standing in the way were the mosquitoes. Millions of them. But Perky had an angle. He erected a giant Gothic wooden tower covered with cedar shingles. It was hollow. Perky planned to fill the inside with bats, which were known to come out at night and feed voraciously on the insects. The tower's interior contained a series of ascending louvers coated with bat guano, just the way Perky had heard they liked it. On the appointed day, thousands of bats arrived in cages. They were released under the tower's open bottom and flew away, never to be seen again. 3/4 of a century later, the tower still stands anonymously on an isolated part of the island. No historic plaque or anything else to identify the enigmatic structure that has been described as a bladeless windmill. Now there was a guy nailed to it. Gus parked the sheriff's cruiser near the base of the tower. The deputies got out and looked up. "I may be ill," said Walter. "I know him," said Gus. "You do?" Gus nodded. "Drug smuggler named Hendry, indicted yesterday, was in the papers." "Who would do such a sick thing?" "Who do you think? His employer. That's why nobody can ever pin anything on him. Never leaves any witnesses." "You don't mean—" Walter stopped short. "Don't tell me you're afraid to even say his name." "No, but some people are." "Not that stupid urban legend again." "They say he's gone completely insane, especially since he started using that nickname. You know." "What?" "Okay, I am afraid." "That's silly." The medical examiner arrived, along with a small fire truck, because it had ladders. "I'll tell you something else," said Gus. "What's that?" "We're about to have a whole lot more bodies. There were a bunch of other names in that indictment." Walter looked up again. "Nobody knows what he looks like. He stays hidden in that secluded place out on No Name Key. They say if you ever see him, you die." "More myth," said Gus, helping prop one of the ladders against the side of the tower. "We got hundreds of hermits like that way back in these islands who haven't been seen in years." "Yeah, but this one's running a drug empire. It's like he's a ghost. How does he come and go without anyone seeing him?" "He drives this big white Mercedes, but the windows are tinted." Part 1, Chapter 1. It was another typically beautiful morning in the middle of the Florida Keys. People were drunk, and people were screaming. Patrons from the roadside bars heard the commotion and carried drinks outside to watch the routine mess on US 1, the nation's highway, 2,209 miles from Fort Kent, Maine, on the Canadian border, to the tip of Key West. The road was snarled to the horizon in both directions. Standard procedure. Mid-morning congestion, then the chain reaction of rear-enders from inattention. Now a parking lot. Drivers honked, shouted obscenities, turned off their engines, and popped beers. A Mercury overheated and the hood went up. 99 degrees. Two sheriff's deputies stood at the window of their air-conditioned substation on Cudjoe Key, veterans Gus DeLand and Walter St. Cloud, drinking coffee. It was the beginning of the shift, the part where they were supposed to review the latest bulletins on all the serial killers and mass murderers heading their way. Gus looked out the window with his hands on his hips. "We've got to do something about that road." "I've never seen a crucifixion before," said Walter, holding a ceramic cup covered with swimsuit models. Check out this